So I could give you all these wonderful tips in how to do things, and they're quite useful. But I actually find that none of those tips actually work. That hacky stuff where you say that you do these five, six things, and then everything is going to work out for you. You name the area, whatever that particular domain is. I actually don't think that that's how humans actually function, and I want you to sort of think back on what what of these sort of tips that you've learned over the course of your life has actually stuck with you. And I guarantee none of those actually stick with you, and you can't remember any of them, right? So if I said, um, I don't know. There's all these kind of like little hacky things that you see on the internet, right? So do this one trick and everything's going to work out. So in my domain, if I said, you know, do this one particular trick in PhD life or research life or academia, any of these things and everything's going to work out. I'm probably selling you, and I do that once in a while, right? I try to do like clickbaity kind of stuff, so that you will actually pay attention to it. But for the most part, you'll never learn anything from it, right? It doesn't really benefit you in any sort of way. What I actually find is that's the most important is the sort of idea that I'm going to get back up and I'm going to be happy and healthy every single day. All of those little tippy things, right? First of all, those are easy to program and easy to sort of do in your life, right? Like those are very simple things. But then on top of it, you can look for those things, right? Like those things are easy to find. You'll be able to find that as like this one little trick. Now, there's sometimes so this weekend I was applying to a grant, and I didn't know what I was doing in terms of applying to this grant, and I wish that there was a little bit more information in terms of how to apply to it and what to do, the sort of procedures. It was like, this is not working out as quickly as I thought, and it was really frustrating. Like there's moments sometimes where you need that, but and you can't find that information anywhere. But it's often very difficult to um, to sort of get by on these little tippy things that go on. I think most of the time, in my experience, that's important. It's not only it's a combination, so you do use those tippy things every once in a while, but they don't necessarily stick. They are there for when you actually need them, and then they're fleeting. They disappear. But and I can actually see that on the videos that I put out. I'm pretty well aware of that kind of thing. But then, the more important thing with with much of what we do in everyday life is the everydayness of the getting up and I'm gonna get going and I'm gonna do this and this is my goal for the day. I am and frankly, I don't actually set a lot of goals because those never really work out for me. I think a lot of people, I want you to actually think about this, is who is actually setting goals, right? Are those people are actually going to achieve those things anyways, regardless of that goal setting? If you look at what normal people do, they don't do those kind of things. They live a normal life, right? And I think the key thing to remember is when you're living your normal life is to be happy and healthy and coming back to the sort of basic things that you were taught in kindergarten, those really simple, basic things that right? Treat other people with respect, just kind of show up on time or, thereabouts. Make sure you get exercise, make sure you get sleep, like very simple things. And you kind of go through life in a much more, when you do this, it allows you to get up and get going and making sure that you feel good about yourself, but also allows you to flow with the ebb and flow of life, um, without feeling a lot of that anxiety and tension. I know, so I'm a little different than my wife. I'm a lot different than my wife. She very much feels a lot of anxiety and tension um, at any given moment if things are not going her way. And I sometimes I kind of I'm empathetic with her, and that is a very, very tense way of dealing with things. I hate to throw my wife under the, under the bus. I love her dearly, but that we just have sort of different ways of dealing with the day to day of life. But what you'll notice is that there's many times, and both of us have worked at this. Both of us, we've been married for a long time now, 15 years, and we've had kids and moved and did all these kind of things. But what we both have learned, and I think we've done a good job, is managing that feeling of that I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay with dealing with the day to day. And that's what's going to happen, right? So you'll get going, you'll 2 hours into something or an hour into something, and there'll be some some next crisis that will happen, whether it's at work, um, whether it is from work or from home, or for us, we had small kids. Our kids are a little bit more grown now, but something would always happen, or somebody would get sick, or we'd get a phone call from school, and so we just have to learn how to just be okay and be like, okay, it's not going to work out right now, but I'm going to come back to this and be okay when I come back to this, and keeping that kind of moving around, making sure that you're just doing your thing, like getting back up and doing it repeatedly. I think that is far more important. It trumps the tippy thing. The tippy thing is like, the getting this one tip or this one hack. That's like expert, super expert. Um, Most people need to just hear that they're going to be okay, need to hear that, yeah, what you're doing is just part of what's going to go on. And yes, it might set you back a little bit, but that's okay. That is part of what we actually do in this thing called life. And yes, you might be not as competitive because this one thing happened, right? You got sick. Yes, it's going to harm you and all of those kind of things in terms of productivity, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna live a good life. And so as long as you keep coming back to that and being okay with who you are, regardless of what is going on, that is an important process of dealing with just the day to day. Coming back and being okay with who you are is everything with the process. That's going to get you engaged and allow you to have fun and allow you to make sure that you're going to do things whenever and just love it. Just enjoy the process. And I want you to sort of really think about that. It's not about tippy things. That's not going to matter that much. It's not about the hacky things. That's not going to matter that much, but it's this, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to be okay, and you are okay, and I'm just going to try again and try again. And I'm going to repeat as many times as I possibly can until things work out. And yeah, I might live my life until I'm 90 years old where that's going to happen. Get back up, repeat, get back up, repeat, and nothing's going to happen, right? Like it's just going to be nothing. Well, that's okay too. At least you kept running and kept going, which is what most people don't do. And I want you to reflect on that. You know, it's important to say, I'm going to keep getting up and getting going. 99.9% of the people are not going to do that. But you are. You can get up and get going every single day and enjoy the process. Smile while you're going through it, trying not to let that anxiety build up inside of you that things are just not going your way. Man, take one of those take one of those chill pills, whatever you need, right? And just go and just love yourself as you're doing it. Get back up, do it again. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.